I find the bead weaving that I do is incredibly meditative. I also love the variety of things that I can do with this simple technique to create both the jewelry as well as wall art pieces. My name is Diana Ferguson, and I am a mixed media artist and jeweler working primarily with glass beads, needle and thread to create wearable art as well as wall art. I've always loved beads since I was little, and I experimented with different weaving techniques throughout my early adulthood, and came upon peyote stitch, which is the weaving technique that I use the most often, and saw that it could be used to create geometric or architectural shapes like this sort of star-like shape, and that really intrigued me. I work with Miyuki Delica beads for the most part, and I prefer them because they're very precise. They're manufactured in Japan by a company called Miyuki, and they are large hold beads, and they have a tremendous range of colors and finishes, which is wonderful. And also they're just very precise and regular in their shape, so it allows you to create really elegant forms and pieces. I find the bead weaving that I do is incredibly meditative for me. I have a busy brain, so this really suits me. I can kind of focus and calm and quiet. I also love the variety of things that I can do with this simple technique to create both the jewelry as well as wall art pieces. This is my bead portrait series, and here I'm working with the peyote stitch to create interpretations of iconic images using I would say a very simple and subdued palette of 7 colors, and so they are really an exploration for me of how iconic imagery can come into our brains, and we'll recognize faces and objects just with very simple lines and basic areas of color, and I just think that is quite interesting. I probably have had this idea in my mind for 5 years, and I have always, since I was quite young, loved pop art and pop imagery, cultural imagery, and I've kept scrapbooks and collages of people's faces that I love, photography that I love, and so this has been an idea that how could I interpret that passion with the beadwork. And so I'm doing that here. I love working with grid structures, and so you'll see that concept in these smaller pieces as well. And I'm working with painter Kenneth Ferguson, who does watercolor and gouache paintings, and then I accompanied those paintings with my own motifs in the peyote stitch beadwork. Some of the pieces I've interpreted Japanese kanji symbols to help tell a little bit more of the story of the piece. So on intelligence, which is an American crow, the symbols stand for intelligence, air, and flight. And here on nature, solitude, the allure of fishing, the kanji symbols stand for nature and solitude. This year, I've been evolving some of my architectural ideas to create really beautiful bracelets like this triangle toggle bracelet and architectural pagoda bracelet, which is just slides onto the hand like that. And I also have got some really fun reversible triangle pieces, and this is all part of the series called Equilibrium, which is kind of reflecting the balance of a triangle. I think a lot of the creative process is very organic for me. So by working on something leads me to another idea, which I'll then explore. I have a really messy, chaotic studio, which means I leave everything out and about so that I can be inspired. When I see something that is sitting there, it will give me an idea. I love the celebration. It's been a wonderful growth experience for me personally as an artist. The camaraderie is incredible. Working with other artists for 72 days is just very inspirational, and I'm always learning new things by being here. I love the public that comes through. The patrons are very supportive, and it's great year after year to see your collectors and have them recognize and appreciate how you're evolving in your work. It's an incredible experience. It's not what you expect before you walk in the door. You may have an impression of what it might be, but once you're in here, and I hear this over and over again, it is just consuming, and people can never see everything in one day, so they come back again and again. And I think people appreciate, and I tell them, the opportunity to speak with artists while they're creating their work is unique.